Kira ko bakal naik motornya. Terus akan ditambah dito kan. Aku ngerasa banget gitu. Dia belum pinjam motornya. Terus makanya tinggal cari project aja kerjain project.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to Talk Spirit. I am your host, Psychic Medium Ginny, and I am here today with a very special guest, Kooch Daniels, who is a lifelong intuitive. She has expertise in tarot, and she is an author of many, many books on tarot. One which I just figured out that I have in my collection. I might have some other ones, but Stars, Cards, and Stones. I actually have that book in my collection. It's on my bookshelf, but that's a really great one. What are some other books that you have written? I know there's a lot. There's a lot. So I'm sure I have other ones in my collection, but what are some other ones? Because I'm sure some of our tarot girlies and guys might actually have some of these books that you and your husband have wrote.
Well, the one that I wrote with my husband, he's a psychologist, so it was like kind of a combo divination psychology, and it was called Tarot at a Crossroads, the unexpected meeting of psychology and tarot. So that's a little more, has more psychological dimension to it.
I
And
love
then my
that.
favorite, which I don't have a picture of right here, or at least one of my favorites, is called the Mystic Secrets Tarot Playbook. And that is, it's just funky, right? Get into the major arcana cards. It's really focused on major arcana cards and developing your
Right.
psychic abilities and tools to help you do that. And then I have a these are published by publishers, but I have one of my favorite ones that I kind of got the chills when I saw your intro, because one of your intro pictures just magically came up on my screen one day. And that was what it's called Troubled Moon, Confessions of a Tarot Reader. And that's kind of like an autobiography mostly. And people go, you shouldn't write things like that. It's too weird. And I go, yeah, that was my life. Too weird. But so those are the specifically tarot ones. I did a computer program that cranks out tarot readings for people. And that's almost like a book. And then my latest love is the Zodiac Light Oracle. If you can see that. And that is an astrological divination tool to help people learn their moon sign and do astrological readings. So those are my most recent ones. And and then if you want me, I can pull a chakra card for you, because I'm into chakras. I'm really into Eastern mysticism also. I'll pull a chakra card for you, but I really want to do a tarot reading for you, and then I'll let you talk.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in toward the end of this, but I would love to see the chakra card for me, because I do Reiki, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just go through these. Tell me when you want me to stop, and I'll pull a card for you. These are chakra cards, actually.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, okay. So you have the card called Perspective. It's got a rainbow and Venus energy, but it's connected with the third chakra, and it's personal empowerment and getting more free of anger and assertiveness issues that make you stress. So it's really a positive card for kind of like moving into your power from more of a heart center place.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And with me being an Aries.
Oh, yeah. And Aries is having a lot of planets hit it right now. So empowered.
Yeah, and I'm a Cancer rising.
Okay. So, oh my God. Okay. And you have a Sagittarius moon, I remember?
Yes, I do.
I heard you say you had I looked at one and I went, she's got a Sagittarius moon. So I think I know where that puts you on the zodiac. And my sense is you should have just gone through a major upheaval and things are evening out a little bit more and you're getting more in control. But someone who you love dearly and you are still working something out, I wouldn't guess. And this working out is really pushing you to grow and release and kind of like move through stuff that you don't normally want to, but you're kind of being forced to, because the planets are
Right.
saying this is your time to transcend your
Yeah.
Mars, your if you think of Mars as being like you're standing there with a sword and a sword and a shield, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to take you on.
Yeah, I believe my Mars is in Taurus, so I believe it's
Oh.
more like, yeah, so I have that procrastination there, and I also have that slow and steady wins the race type of thing with the way I get things and do things. So yeah, but I feel like my thing is procrastination. That's probably my downfall.
If you could look at procrastination as actually taking time to fuel the fire, especially if you're in Aries. So instead of thinking it's like, oh no, I procrastinate, to like use that time to actually like put kindling on the fire, so that when you do get to the point where you're going to like move forward, you have more of a sense of how to use your intuition, your personal power, I'm going for it. So procrastination, people have like, it's usually, oh no, you have procrastination, but it actually can be used to your benefit. So think of this as a time to recharge your battery.
Well, that's also why I was saying, I also look at it as like slow and steady wins the race. And so I kind of look at that part of it being like that is slow and steady. Like I might be slower to start doing something or, taking my time to do things, but I feel like it gives me time to perfect things a little bit and work things out. So that's the way I like to look at it, at least. So
I would also look at having your Mars in Taurus that's ruled by Venus. So you have this polarity between Mars being like, I got to get out there and do it, and Venus going, let's play, let's have fun, maybe time for intimacy, let's go on a date. And then Mars is going, no, you got to go get those things done. So, Taurus is definitely ruled by Venus. And if that's where your Mars sits, they're having a dialogue about, do I do it or do I play? Should we have fun or should we work?
So, okay. So you have many, many years of using tarot. I'll never forget getting my first tarot deck. I actually was told to sleep with it. I had spent years suppressing my abilities, and I went into this little shop in like Hollywood and got this tarot deck. And I ended up sleeping with the tarot deck, and I'm telling you, it was like natural, like it like woke, because I'm a medium too. So, it's like it woke those abilities that I had been suppressing through my like early 20s. It like woke everything up. And it actually getting that tarot and getting these crystals is what kind of spiraled me into this like spiritual path and doing everything that I'm doing. So, what is your thoughts on like sleeping with your tarot deck, or like, is there any like things like I've heard that like you're not supposed to buy your first tarot deck yourself, but I did. So I don't know.
Probably your favorite deck, or one.
I still have it. I still have it. It's a little rustic now, but I still use them. But yeah, it's one of my favorite decks. Yeah.
There's not enough time to wait for people to give you decks, especially if you love working with different decks, and there's so many to choose from. So you can't like fall in love with the deck and then go, oh, how am I going to get somebody to buy that deck for me? So I just feel like it's a superstition, but it's totally good if you really want a deck and it's talking to you. You don't want to ignore the dialogue, because it's going to give you positive results because it's already talking to you. So get it as fast as you can and start using it. That's my.
It's like you feel a connection. It's like you feel a connection. Because I have some decks that have been given to me, and I don't really feel a genuine connection with those decks. I don't know why. Like I just, but every now and then I'll pull out them for a certain reading and they'll connect for that reading. But then it's like, okay, I don't use them anymore. It's so strange how that works for me. Or it's like I'll pick a certain deck to use for a certain client's reading. I'll be like, I'm going to use these two today and this one. And it's just an intuitive thing that I just do when I'm doing readings. So I don't know if that's the same with you, but it's very much like that for me. Or do you have like a favorite deck?
Let's see, I have about 10 favorite decks.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like whichever one I can find the easiest or with the closest one, or like, oh my gosh, I got to find a deck right now.
Yeah.
But I probably do, a few tarot readings just for myself every day. I'm really addicted to giving my own self readings, just because I really believe they can talk back to me and they give me insight. They make me think about things that might happen or push me to look at what I don't want to have happen. So I have a tarot deck pretty much in every room. I'm really bad. I mean, I'm a true addict. If you talk about addicts, it's like, okay, it's not a bad addiction, except I probably spent too much money on tarot decks in my lifetime. But
yeah. Well, same.
The more decks, the merrier.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. So, with tarot and things like that, I see it as a tool of connecting with spirit. It's funny because, as a psychic medium, sometimes I'll already intuitively be feeling things, and I'll start pulling the cards, and the cards will literally reflect what I was kind of already feeling. I always say it kind of lays out a picture for me to know that what's coming to me it's like confirmation a lot of times for me. But when I'm reading into myself, I'm not the best at reading into myself. I think I like overthink things, but usually if I use a certain spread that asks like certain questions, it's like sometimes if I'm like doing a direct spread, it'll give me like the truth. Like, and then sometimes I'll tell the cards, don't sugarcoat it for me today. Let me know the truth. And it'll be so real. Even if it isn't something I want to see, it'll be so real with me. So it's crazy how, and actually me and my friend were just doing that the other night for a guy that she was interested in. And I had already intuitively felt weird about the guy, but I did, sometimes I just keep things to myself because like I knew she really liked him and I just was like letting it flow. And so she was like, I'm going to do like this little spread that I had sent her because she does cards here and there. And it like told her to a T, like what was going on with this guy. Like it revealed so much about him. So I mean, what are your thoughts on this type of things? Like how truthful can tarot be? And do you feel that tarot can predict things? Can it predict future things? Can it show you what is coming for you?
Definitely. But you have to use I always say it's like use your heart and your head and let your intuition kind of like go between one and the other so that you can be grounded with ideas. But your heart is where a lot of people get their intuitive sensing or their gut feelings. But, head and heart are really like where it's at. And sometimes we're not supposed to know the future. Sometimes it's, the future is creating itself in the future, not in this moment. And things can change. So, there's always a question of like, can these cards really predict or are they going to? And I think you really have to look at the person who's using the cards and are they good at prediction? If that's something that they can really draw upon, then great. But if they're like making statements because they just feel like it might happen, then you could get in trouble with some really nasty predictions. And I've had enough readings where I have to put on Band-Aids on people's bad predictions that I'm not an advocate in like, I want to go tell a person what they're going to be eating for dinner tomorrow, or, if they're going to be falling in love with this person or that they're going to fall back in love with them. So I kind of like leave things open to possibilities and what might happen. So I think we're in such a position of planting seeds by what we say. So I'm definitely, I think I've been able to do readings for all these decades because I plant seeds. I don't tell people how to pick their fruit. meaning I'm
Right.
trying to offer people like this is a possibility. This is your potential. There's opportunities over here without saying you've got to go this way. This way isn't good. I kind of like
Mhm.
leave like decisions up to the person instead of making them for a person. And I think also that leaves me out of their psychic karma a little bit.
Right, right. That makes sense. I always say it's more of a projection than a prediction. It's like when I read it, some things I am able to predict. Like I'll see a kid coming into someone's life and then they'll have a kid and
Yeah.
I'll tell them, like there's some things I just see, or I see that a relationship just isn't meant for someone. But I always tell them, you have free will. You can walk out of here and you can go be with that person. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, that this person isn't good. Or I'll say, this looks good. This looks like it has a lot of potential. So when I'm predicting things or doing things like that, I always say it's a projection of the current energy. But obviously, I can tell someone a relationship is good and they can go out and sabotage it, right? So it's like it's one of those things that is more of a projection of what the cards are showing as what has potential of happening if things stay on the current energy. I mean, that's just when I read, that's just how I see it. But I have predicted things, but like you said, there's always a changing energy. So nothing is like set in stone. That's what I always say. Nothing is set in stone. So,
And at the same point, times when I have seen a baby inside somebody's belly and they haven't figured it out yet, or if I say, oh, it's definitely going to be a boy, people get so.
Yeah. I knew my brother and his wife, his current wife, they were pregnant and everybody was like talking about, oh, he wants a boy, he wants a boy. But I just stayed totally quiet because I knew it was a girl and I didn't say anything. Like I was like, they were like, oh, we hope it's a boy, we hope it's a boy. But like, because they already had two girls, so they were hoping for a boy, but I knew it wasn't a boy, so I just stayed quiet. Like I just
Let them
like,
have their fun.
yeah. So I was like, they were like, oh, what do you think it is? I'm not getting in it. Like I'm not guessing. I'm not doing any of that. So, but yeah, and that was without tarot. I just knew. So sometimes I don't even need tarot to just know things, but I feel like tarot and like divination are great tools. And what about how like tarot kind of co-inspires with like astrology, with the cards also, will line up, like they will be, in alignment with certain signs. So, and then like for me, when I'm reading, like if I see like a wand card, like a king of wands, a lot of times that'll be like a fire sign for me in my readings. Or, a cups could represent a water sign for me, or pentacles is an earth sign. And then you have your major arcana that lines up with the astrological signs as well. So
I just want to tell you that I pulled a card for how's this going to go, and you just brought up the King of Wands, and that's what I got, the King of Wands, and I went, oh, fiery, it's going to be hot. And you're saying, and the King of Wands, I'm like, yes, that's the card. That was the card I pulled for our show.
that's so funny. That's so funny. Are you serious?
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's amazing that you wrote, these books to help teach people as well, how to really use tarot, because there's so many ways to use it and so many ways to incorporate it in your readings, and like so many spreads. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on how deep you can go with
it's
tarot.
kind of infinite. And as
Yeah.
we evolve, people's way of using the cards evolves, and the descriptions they give for spreads evolves.
Yeah.
So it's not a stagnant discipline. It's really very connected to consciousness and the cultural trend.
So you feel that we can make connections with the cards and like intuitively kind of make like a connection with cards? Is that what you're saying, or what?
I an intuitive connection is with the symbols more than the cards. So
Right.
you can take your connection from one deck to another deck if you're connected with, as you're reading your symbols. And that's
Right.
why, like, if people read oracles, because I've created a couple oracle decks, and it's like, well, how do you create oracle decks? It's because symbols are the language of dreams, the language of the subconscious, and it's how we can communicate non-verbally with others. And so if you have a symbolic set that you're comfortable with, for instance, you have Mars and Taurus. And so you're looking at the symbol of Mars touching the symbol of Venus. So if you have that in a card and you say Mars kissing Venus or Mars confronting Venus, that's a symbolic set. And it could go on any tarot deck because all the tarot cards have astrological connections, or an astrological deck, because there's a lot of astrological decks out there. But some decks have different ideas about what symbols go with what astrological signs go with what cards. So you kind of have to like figure out your own symbolic associations and then see how they can fit with all these different decks if you're using a number of decks.
Yeah. I also like
talk. The cards definitely talk, but they talk through symbols.
Right, exactly. They do. And even sometimes one deck may have certain pictures on there. And I know when I'm reading, I may choose a certain deck for a certain reading, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to grab these. And there'll be like something within the photo of the card that will click to me, and I'll be like, oh, well, you see how this individual looks in this. I feel like it'll kind of coincide with what I'm feeling in the reading, and it'll just be a symbol that's on the card, like on the photo of the card. You know what I mean? Not necessarily just like that it's a pentacle or that it's a cup energy. It'll just be the symbol that is printed on the card itself, like how it looks.
So how do you get that? Is there like a feeling, or it's like how does your intuition come through?
So with spirit, like and I don't know if this is because I'm a medium or I don't know why it happens, but I'll be like, I mean, in mediumship they do this to me as well, but basically I always say spirit, right, will draw me to a certain thing to look at, and it's like I'll be intuitively drawn to it. So for instance, you know, like I could be doing a reading and like, or I'm in a session with a client, and I'll be drawn to like, let's say like their arm or something. And even though I can't see their arm, if they're wearing a jacket or whatever, and I can't see their arm, it'll be because there's like a tattoo or something, that's something with that person that they lost. Like, so there'll be something, I'll be like, oh, the spirit is bringing my attention to your arm. And, you know, and it'll be because they have a tattoo. Or I'll be like drawn to like, you know, whatever, like their purse. And I'll be like, did you bring something in your purse? Like, and it goes the same for tarot. I'll be drawn to like a photo on the tarot card, and it'll like, spirit will like zoom me into a certain expression that someone is making or a certain thing that's going on the card, and it'll kind of go into the reading. I don't know why it happens to me, but it just, you know, they draw my attention to certain images or certain things, you know. So like for one, there was one like I think it was the Three of Swords, but spirit was like, no, it's not anything. It's like a literal physical heart issue. And I saw the heart being stabbed, and I'm like, did this person like have like, you know, some type of heart issues? And it was so weird. It's just, that's what I got brought to. So it's crazy because even in mediumship, like if I don't really use tarot in mediumship, but sometimes I'll look at the cards before a reading and they'll like show me certain cards, and certain cards will mean certain things, and it'll reflect back to something that's going to happen in the medium reading. It's wild. So, but that's what happens to me using them. So
we're kind of opposite, because I don't bring mediumship into tarot and you don't bring tarot into mediumship, because it's, I don't try to present myself as a medium because I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like play with symbols that present themselves, but very much on an intuitive level. But sometimes that it can't stop that the mediumship energy comes through, like seeing someone's father standing behind them, but he's not really there, but
Yeah.
you know it's the father.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like, you know, these things work together because it's not like you can just define what's going to happen in a reading and where you're going to get your energy, or is it going to come through your sensory hearing or smell, or is it going to come through words, or is it going to come through an electrical charge, or are you going to see an apparition
Right.
while you're doing cards? So you never know what's going to happen, and that's kind of what makes them so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. What would you tell people who are beginning with, what would be something you would recommend to someone who's beginning with tarot cards, like they're beginning to read tarot? Would you have any advice? Or
I like your introductory, one of your introductory statements was slow but steady. You know, and don't try to just become a professional intuitive in like, you know, you've taken one 6-week class and now you're going to go out and charge $150 for a reading. It's like, give yourself a little time to like work with the cards and play with them with people before you start setting yourself out to be a professional and charging money. Because that way, by the time you do get to the place where you're looking at, okay, this can become a lifelong profession or a life profession. And the cards will only let you do it if it's, you know, if you really are connected with them. They won't let you become a tarot reader if you're not connected with them. So it's kind of, my sense is I would just tell people, you know, don't rush, just enjoy the moment and look at it almost like you're developing a new friendship and see how the friendship develops. And the more that you fall in love with one another and have conversations, because you have to talk to your cards. I don't know people who can play with cards and not communicate with them, or put them under your pillow and sleep with them, which is great, by the way. You know, until you have like more of a connection with what are these magical divination tools, you know, it's like, don't rush into like, oh, I can do this. It's like, yes, you can. And you want to do more, which is wonderful, but like just one step at a time. Don't try to rush.
Right. I love that. I actually love that. Yeah. I took years developing, even with mediumship. I went to mediumship development classes, and I did free stuff. So I would just read for friends, family. I would, you know, do free readings, and I just did all of that for years before I even took this to a professional level. So I totally agree. Don't just jump out there and start trying to be a reader. So
It's like, well, she can do it, so I can do it. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why don't you find out if you can really do it?
Right. Yeah. I think it takes time and energy and really development, and also investing in that development as well. Reading books, like learning different ways of reading, like really learning your cards. And yeah, so I completely agree with that.
And also people skills and how to not be offensive with making statements that could potentially hurt someone's future.
Right.
Power of like, okay, you're giving people direction or potential direction. It's like, how can you use your words with tact and diplomacy instead of like using them as a hammer?
Right. Yeah, I've seen some readers that are a little intense, you know. So I think, yeah, you have to have like a nurturing and be not. Yeah. And you can't also feel like you know everything. I feel like that's another thing. Like, yeah, I'm right about everything. I know everything. Like we can be wrong, or we can misread something, or, you know, everything isn't set in stone. And I think going into readings, knowing that and letting people know that, like, you do have free will to, you know, to change things and to, you know, fix your situation if it's like a quote unquote bad reading. Even though I feel like a reading isn't bad. It's just a direction, right? It's just like saying like, hey, this is the direction that's going on, but you can change that, right? So if your life is going in one way, you can change that. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
I like that readings can open new pathways
yeah,
of
it can show you what's
possibilities.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. They can
So
be healing. They don't have to just be like, oh, I'm going to tell you your future. It's like, I don't think that's the right way to give readings. It's more
right.
like, okay, how can we create a better understanding of your situation? How can you come out a winner instead of struggling so much? I mean, you can use the cards to really dialogue and help people grow in a positive way. And that's the
Right.
magic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool because you can literally ask like what are, what is blocking me? I mean, I've done readings like that where it's like I'm looking into what is blocking your path. Like how can you overcome that? Like what opportunities are awaiting you? And it will tell you like, oh, these are the things that are, so it's pretty amazing. So if people wanted to get in touch with you, they could find you at mysticsecrets.net.
Net.
Okay, I'm going to put that there.
That's my website is mysticsecrets.net. And I
Yeah.
have a Mystic Secrets on Facebook as
Okay.
well.
And they can find your books on there, or your books are on. I know your one's on Amazon.
I've
believe
got
that's where I got
like
that.
one of those author profiles on Amazon, and it lists all my books. But you can find my books definitely at Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and other bookstores.
I just
And
mentioned
Amazon gets
Amazon.
all the press, but it's like if any bookstore that you knock on the door, books can be ordered.
True.
Go to your favorite bookstore.
Yes.
Support
Yes.
local.
No, I agree with that. Unfortunately, I got that one off Amazon, I believe. So, yeah. Most of our small bookstores, I don't think are even existent now. Like here, they've
They've been
closed.
swallowed up.
Yeah. Okay, so you said that you wanted to give me a little mini reading. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I have been going through some transformation with all of this energy going on in my rising sign, Aries. It's been a mess lately. So, but a good mess, a good mess.
Well, I think I keep going back to your saying that you like to be slow and steady, because if you put each step forward with awareness and a sensitivity to like being the best you can be in the moment, you're going to wind up in the place where it's perfect for you to grow and be, and it'll be more pleasurable. So just hang in there with your, but okay. So here I've got my cards. I've been shuffling them while I was talking to you. And now if you just tell me when to stop. I'm shuffling, going through. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Dun, 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 dun.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so more wands. You have the 7 of Wands, which is the person who is wants is the fire. So you've got to like really stand up for yourself.
That makes sense.
But look at how you can have rest and playfulness to balance that you've got some work to do, because it's learning to stand up for yourself. People don't become empowered in a positive way unless they go through some lessons. So for all these people say, oh yes, just do affirmations that you're going to tune into your personal empowerment and take on leadership. You really have to take step by step. It doesn't just like happen overnight. So this is just like learning to stand up for yourself and learning to speak your mind in a way where you can confront other people without hitting them. The staff is just the staff of like, I'm standing up for myself. I can be strong here. So think about how to be strong and how to take good care of yourself and how to protect yourself from other people's energy until you can get more clarity about how it's not really important to be dealing with this situation anymore. Because at a certain point, things change, and everything that you're doing is helping you become a better person. But when we're going through stuff, it's not always like so easy all the time. But here, have another card. I'm going through. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, okay. things to look forward to. Well, if you can see, here is the Ace of Cups, the heart overflowing with joy and happiness, and opportunity for new beginnings, and a new flow of intuitive energy, a new flow for your show, a new flow for what you're doing emotionally to grow. Because this is like the planting seeds of love, planting seeds of self-care, self-love, and really having things to look forward to. Like the cup is overflowing, bringing greater sense of how to enjoy life. And the key words for the Ace of Cups is joy, pleasure, new beginnings that open doorways to happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So things are definitely going in the right direction.
Yay.
Yay. And then your third card.
Okay, my third card. Okay. Do I tell you when to stop?
Oh, I better start all over again. Yes, I'm starting now. Tell me when to stop.
Okay. Stop.
Okay, I think the word empowerment keeps coming up, because here's the Queen of Swords, which is a card of taking on more leadership and owning your personal power. Off with his head, or her head, or not putting up with other people's, what are you using the sword for? And by the way, swords represents the element air. Air is intelligence, analyzing, using the power of the mind. So the Queen is a woman of feminine energy, carrying the wisdom, the weight of understanding that can help clarify, resolve, make decisions, or better decisions, and move towards more of the success that you're looking for.
I love that.
So I think whatever you're going through, it's kind of like the stuff you need to get through to get more clarity, how to use your power and how to stand up for yourself more.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that is kind of what I am going through, is just being more independent and more not settling for certain behaviors, and standing up for myself and standing up for what I want, when it comes to relationships, friendships, all of those things. So it makes a lot of sense. And just moving into the direction of, this business that I have. So it makes so much sense what you're saying, especially with everything I've been through. So yeah.
At a certain point, everything that you're going through will be like, wow, I did that. I got through that.
Yeah.
And those things are what's kind of like the sandpaper, sanding the rough edges and helping you become more the master of your soul, the master of your fate.
Makes sense. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and talking about tarot. And
I love tarot.
Me too. I'm kind of addicted too. Like I probably pull cards like every day for myself, like at least every other day for myself. So yeah, just to kind of see what the energy of the day is, and different things. I even ask for advice sometimes. Hey, how do I deal with this? So, and it'll give me advice. So I love it. But no, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I've really enjoyed meeting you and connecting with you, and good luck with everything you're doing. And to all you people out there, best of luck with tarot readings, and learning how to use your intuition more.
Of course.
Own it. You are intuitive.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank everyone for tuning in to Talk Spirit. Until next time, bye.